Hey nerds, I've been enjoying my break day. Yeah, I took a few days off work because apparently I was getting to the maximum amount of vacation days I could have, so I was just like, screw it! And I've been playing Bloodborne all day. Well, not really all day. I've been just relaxing, acting all cool, hanging out at the pool. Except there's no pool, and the pool is a replacement for my own sadness. Does that make sense? Anyways, I was hanging out all cool, being all depressed. No, anyways, I figured I would talk about something because people, well, not a lot of people, but someone was making fun of me over the fact that I said brave weapons were powerful. They said there is no brave meta, and I'm a little bit confused about this because, you know, I'm guessing that people haven't been following why Alencia is so good, or at least why Amity is so interesting, because she's basically having a, a higher tier brave weapon that does less speed detriment and, of course, has a better might value. Not overpowered at all, friends! I mean, to give you an idea of why brave weapons are so powerful, that really relies on the speed stat, because people always talk about this, because simply put, a lot of the problems that a lot of the powerful characters have is probably from speed, or if you don't have speed, you're going to be doubled, and that's just how it works. You know, if your character does not have speed, well, chances are they're going to be doubled, and if they don't have the speed to obtain higher values, then they can't double themselves. So what do you do? Well, you give them a brave weapon, and that's simply put how it works. I mean, to give you an example, here's my Effie. She only has a Brave Lance, normal one, but as you can tell here, this Effie, she normally has about 40 attack, at least neutrally. And as you can see here, with the Brave Lance, that means she has 46. And since she has terrible speed, by the way, I mean, just look at that. 15 speed. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why people are constantly talking about this. Like, I mean, granted, Effie does have the advantage here in that she does have Wary Fighter, so she doesn't get doubled. And that's why people love Effie. People really love her because she can absorb damage, and she fight, you know, she protect, but she also, I mean, she protect, I don't know the meme. I can't do the meme right now. I'm sorry. Do you ever wonder why Reinhardt's up there yourself? It's mostly because right now, brave weapons, I think, at least the variants, from what I can tell, from what I've seen at least. I mean, Brave Bow, I think, at plus has like 7 damage, 7 might, and I think normal brave weapons have 8. But here's the thing about Reinhardt, and that's the only reason he exists, is because while he is pretty strong, he does have access to, of course, Dire Thunder, which is essentially, I mean, I don't know if I could technically call this something that is a legendary weapon for him. It's just something that's exclusive to him and Olwen for some strange reason. I guess maybe moving that over to any other mage unit would just be catastrophic in some ways. Yeah, we can't give them that good old, you know, brave weapon. That would be terrifying. Could you imagine moving Dire Thunder over to, like, other characters? Just terrifying characters, giving it to, like, Delthea or something, and she just absolutely obliterates everyone? No thank you! No thank you! Archers are also probably the most problematic when it comes to brave weapons. Mostly because right now a lot of people love running brave bow on them. Granted, it's kind of changed recently, but a lot of characters like Bridal Cordelia, the reason why she's so sought after is because she can get to outrageous speed limits, even with Brave Bow, and she can hit really hard, and she can quad with it. Meaning, you know, 4 hits is terrifying. It's something that a lot of people don't want to deal with, obviously. Or if you happen to have her, it's really great. But then again, we do have newer units. We're seeing a little bit of a different shift in meta. Remember how Blade Tomes were really big? They're still very big. Still very big on any Cavalier mage at all, simply put. But with the advent of something like Panic Ploy, now we're starting to see a bit of a shift in meta. And I'm starting to see that as well with brave weapons as we go along. Mostly in several ways. One, we're getting new weapons like the Mulligar, or Innis's weapon, which I don't have equipped on him right now, but you get the idea. Here we are. Nidhogg, that's right. These are weapons that are actually very effective at what they do, and they could technically outclass the Brave Bow if you decide to use it. Unfortunately, I only have a Brave Bow normal on him. Oh god, I'm gonna need to summon for Klein, aren't I? Murder me a Klein. So when anyone says, hey, brave weapons aren't overpowered, no, they can be. They really can. You ever wonder why people were waiting for a Cavalier Archer? So they could stick a freaking Brave Bow on that character and let him just go to town with goads. It's ridiculous. Or I guess Fortify or Hone or whatever. What have you. It's terrifying. It's a scary, scary world we live in. But when I say brave meta, I don't really think there's that big of a problem. Like, someone got mad at me because I'm like, God, you're just saying brave weapons are overpowered. Well, I mean, they can be. The only reason Reinhardt is so powerful is because he has a basic brave tome that allows him to double, because without that, he would not be able to do as much damage as he does. In fact, there are people who literally build units, green units, like our good old... I wonder if I still actually have her. Yeah, I still do. Like, little darling Faye here. People literally build her just to outdo him. And some other units, like Titania, they build her as well, just to deal with Reinhardt. There is a literal game around countering Reinhardt because he is such a problem at times. Be it in Arena, be it in any other game mode that you can think of where he actually shows up, he could be a bit of a problem because of his natural, talents there. That magic tome that he has is not something easily used, and technically, you're going to need a really good green unit to actually deal with that. Even some units that don't have, good resistance, and are green, they still have problems with him, which is weird, but, it's something that happens, especially since he's a Cavalier. So, when someone tells me, no, brave weapons aren't a huge problem, they can be. They're not a huge problem, mind you. But, I do see that the meta is shifting in a lot of ways to kind of, I wouldn't say make them obsolete, but, it's kind of like how Blade Tomes were with Panic Ploy. We're making ways to counter them, because, honestly, for a while there, Blade Tomes were really some of the best way to clear content, until they started using Panic Ploy more obsessively in a lot of that. You ever noticed how a lot of Grand Hero battles usually have 1 or 2 units with it available? That's because they kind of just want you to either think more strategically with your horse emblem team, or, kind of makes you want to use a different unit. Let me just pull up our good friend. Where are you? Where are you, Bike? There you are. You're my good old Bike. Of course, then we have units like Ike here, who, well... who are you in a relation? Oh, yeah, that's right, with yourself. Don't pay attention to that. Anyways, one good thing that's come out of, the Choose Your Legends units is that we have seen a little bit of a shift when it comes down to that. I mean, Irvan could potentially have a possible, maybe, I'm hoping, eventually one day, I'm going around in circles, to get that, reduced... second and onward attack thing as maybe possibly a passive sometime in the future, because that would be a really great use just to counter some of the more hefty units that could be out there. You don't have to, do it, or you could just keep it to Irvan, because honestly, I like seeing that kind of meta shift there. It's nothing too crazy, make it a little bit harder to get, and it's definitely something that's pretty viable. But when I say that there is a brave meta, there is. It's just that it's not a, it's kind of funny how it shifted from that. Like, Blade Tomes and Brave Bows are still, or Brave Weapons, I should say, are still something that people adamantly use, and constantly use, and want to use every time and every second that they get, because it is something that is easily, at least somewhat accessible, and does produce some really fine results. Some people, I know Jinkaro is probably listening to this and going, oh god, he's talking about Brave Weapons, but yes, I know you don't like me using a Brave Bow on my Innis, but understand that he does do really well with it, and occasionally, when I need to, I can just switch over to his Nidhogg and everything's okay. Although I do need to level him up and finish up some of his skills there. Still, nonetheless, you get the basic idea. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and relax a bit and not worry about someone insulting me over the internet, which is typically how my life goes. when it comes to these videos. I'm scared at every time and every second. Please help me. I'm scared. Also, Bridal Cordelia can, suck my butt. Anyways, catch you later.